got me a Lazer Z. New ExMark. Long time coming. There's the Old Faithful right there, the 48 that you've come to know and love, I'm sure. Got the American flag on there. Found that while I was mowing one day, and yeah, so this is it right here. The ExMark. It's got the Kawasaki FX 75 1B or FX 751B, whatever. This is a carbureted unit. It's not EFI. I got this on purpose. I don't want to get me specifically, I work on all my equipment myself, so I didn't want to go with EFI because I don't really know anything about fuel injection. I mean, I could probably figure it out, but I'd rather just stick to what I know, and I know how to take carburetors off, clean them, rebuild them, whatever. So I'm good on a carburetor. And you know, I don't want to try to jinx myself, but you know, I've had this mower for about 3 years now, and I haven't had one down day. I've had stuff where it messes up and this and that, but you know, I know how to fix it. I'll repair it at night or whatever and be done with it. You know, the repairs that I have done on this thing, if I would have taken it to the shop, yeah, I probably would have had, it would have been a week or two down probably. But so here's the front view. You can compare Ultracut 60 Series 4. That's a Ultracut 48. You can see right there the differences in the decks and everything. Just I'm not sure how this deck and everything, the design compares to the new ones now, because this is an older model, about 3 years old. I think this is like a 2000, might be 2013, but yeah, so this is 2017 model. I really love about this one here, you got this deck assist spring here that when you're sitting on it, it's just super light to raise the deck up and down, like with my foot. That thing, you got the full weight of the deck on there. I mean, I was used to it, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but this is right here, this will spoil you, this deck assist spring thing right there. See that spring moving? But yeah, it's pretty much got all the same cut levels as my other one did. It might have some more, but I'm only going to be using these right in here anyway, so takes a little bit getting used to the emergency brake being over here. On my other one it was on the other side, but I like this little spongy stuff they put on there. It's kind of nice. Just the mower in general, you can tell just as more high-end. These hydraulics and these handles are like super smooth, and just like, it's like butter is the only word I can use to describe it, compared to this, which, you know, I never knew any better. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. But I mean, I always thought that these were fine. Like, you know, I never had any problems with it. I liked the way this mower operated, and I still do. But man, when you get on this thing, it's like, I mean, just compared to that, it's ridiculous. And so yeah, like I said, it's got the Kawasaki on there. It's 28 horsepower, I believe, which I guess is a good enough power. I mean, this thing is unbelievably fast to begin with. Like, compared to that thing, I mean, just like without the blades going, like if you're just going from, you know, if you got a few yards in a neighborhood and you're going from one yard to another, man, you can fly with this thing. And then, or like today, I was doing this really big yard, and I was all the way at the end of the yard and was done mowing, and I was going back to the trailer. Man, I got on the road and freaking burnt the road up in this thing going so fast. But you know, it's got this nice ExMark, the Lazer Z seat here, instead of that just basic seat over there that you can see my dog's got a hold of. But man, like these arm pads, these things are so soft, and some people, they don't care for the arm pads, but I actually use them when I'm using the mower. Like, so those things are awesome. You got this here where you can, you know, set it to your weight. I got it on about like 175. I guess that's what I weigh. You can adjust the seat back and forth with this thing. It's a good springy seat too. It's hard to tell there, but I mean, it's a good springy seat. I feel pretty it's amazingly comfortable compared to this, you know, because this is, you're getting the full effect of whatever terrain you're on when you're on that thing. And this, I mean, it's like way smoother. So it's a huge difference, because I used to always think like, man, if I do this forever with this mower, like my back is going to be done for by the time I'm 30. But with this, I mean, it really doesn't feel like I'm doing any damage to my back, like, because it's just so comfortable. I mean, you can still feel some bounces, but it's nothing like the other mower. I will tell you something about these mowers. You know, you can do what you want, but these things right here, these little covers that go on here like this is for the other side, but just, you get what I'm saying. These little belt covers or whatever, you can do what you want, but when I first get these things, this is exactly what I do, because those things are stupid. I don't, it's just a waste of plastic, I think. You know, I took those off after a while, and when I bought this, I tried to keep those on there. This mower only has 5 hours on it. I just got it 2 days ago. But this thing, these little covers, I tried to keep them on there at first, because I was like, well, maybe they do serve a purpose and keep debris out of there and stuff, and it'll keep my belt's area cleaner and stuff. It's like, see this compared to, you know, this mower over here, like you got all this dirt in here and stuff, and these little things, and you know, whatever. So I was like, well, maybe those will work. So I kept them on there. Well, today I was mowing a yard that had a bunch of these actually, and I was like, all of a sudden the belt's like, and sure enough, one of these little gumballs from a sweet gum tree got stuck in this part right here of the pulley, and then it was just like stuck in here, and it kept making the belt like pop every time it would hit there. And I was like, I stopped the thing, because that'll freaking break your belt real quick doing that, and found this thing jammed in there, and I was like, well, that's it for the covers. I took the covers off and never looked back, because I know for a fact that if that cover wouldn't have been there, that gumball probably would have just, like, you know, flew around in here or something. But because that cover's in there, it traps that gumball in there, and it just gets sucked in, you know. So me personally, I'm gonna take those covers off, because I don't want debris. It's rare that debris gets in here with the covers because of the covers, but when debris does get in here, it's going to stay in here, and eventually it's going to get caught up in your belt, and it's going to tear your belt up. So I'd rather just not have the cover, and then I can have a full view of my pulley and belt here, and I can be the judge of if there's debris there or not. And if there is some, I can wipe it off and stuff like I did with that one, and you know, it'll be fine. I've ran that for 3 years with that and have had zero issues with it. So that's the way I'm gonna roll. Something else about this mower, these tires are huge compared to those. Those are like 9-inch wide tires, I think. These are 12 inches wide, which is about the same as a truck tire. Which, man, I took this thing on some steep slopes, and it didn't even try to slide. I went through like big mud holes that usually my 48 over there would have got stuck so quick. Like, man, this thing barely even put a rut in there, and I was going through some mud. I mow these yards every week. I know, what the terrain is like, and I'm going in spots that after a rain, I'm gonna get stuck, and I wasn't even getting close to stuck with this, so it makes a difference. Yeah, like you just got so much more traction, and I think because the tire is so much wider and like, your weight and stuff is distributed better, I guess. It's just, it doesn't, when I'm riding through soggy grass and stuff, it doesn't leave those lines that this mower would leave. Like, this mower is going to leave those little tracks, and you're going to be able to see where I went through. This thing hasn't done it so far, so I mean, I'm sure it would in some really muddy stuff, but in your normal soggy yards, it's a lot better. So are these big wide front caster tires or whatever they're called. Those things do good. You got this little step plate, whatever. I don't see what the deal with. Why do I need a step plate on top of an already steel surface? There's no problem with stepping on here. It's solid steel. It's not like I'm gonna crack it. But whatever, they got that. I guess it is good because it's got the little grooves so you can clean your feet off if you want. But I usually don't have tons of mud on my feet when I'm sitting on a mower. You do got this little thing you lift up, see all your belts and stuff. They didn't used to have these, but pretty much any mower is going to have this now, so it's not really special. But it is convenient. You can see there, and you got your little belt layout for when you got to put the belt on. I don't really know what else I could say about it. Like I said, it's got 5 hours, so I'm going to be changing the oil after this video, because when you first buy these mowers, you're supposed to change the oil after the first 5 hours of use. Then you can do it every 50 to 75 after that. It's also got the little gas gauge, which is nice. You can see, if you can tell, I'm half full right now. It's like an 8.5 gallon tank or something, which is kind of small for these mowers, but whatever. I filled it up this morning, and I'm at half a tank now, so probably gonna be having to fill this thing up 2 or 3 times a week, because that one over there is a 7 gallon, and this is a lot more of a mower. It is pretty heavy. It's about 1,100 pounds, what the guy told me at the store. So I think that thing's like 700 and something. So I can definitely tell the difference when I got both of these on the trailer compared to when I used to just have 2 Pioneers on the trailer. I can tell I'm getting about 1 mile per gallon less on my truck now because of pulling this. So that's something to think about too. But overall, so far, I mean, I've only had the thing for 3 days, so it's hard to give like a review about its just overall performance, longevity wise, or whatever, lengthwise. But so far, I've been really impressed. I love it. It's awesome. I did a really thick yard today that was probably about 20 inches or so tall grass, about 2 feet. And usually that thing would have been bogging up big time and stuff. And I'd been having to go super slow, but this thing with the Kawasaki on it, it just kept going. It never bogged down once. It was never like, it kept its full tempo the whole time. So I was really impressed with that, because I know I probably shaved about 45 minutes of cut time off on that big yard, because it's about an acre and a half, and it would probably usually with that grass and that shape, it would probably take me about an hour and 15 minutes to mow it with that thing, and I probably mowed it in 45 minutes. So it was awesome. I did have to go twice, but I think that's probably because I have the mulch kit on here. You know, if you've seen any of my other videos, I put mulch kit on every mower because I'm a firm believer in that. Mulch all your leaves up, mulch all your pine straw up, mulch your pine cones up. It's going to leave your, when I do thick yards like that, I'm not going to have trails of grass where I shot grass, you know. I'm not going to have to worry about shooting grass on cars and on the side of buildings, and I'm not going to have to worry about throwing rocks and stuff. You know, 9 times out of 10, you run over a rock or a piece of metal or something, that thing's going to catch it and it's not going to go into something. Every now and then something will still shoot out, but it's very rare compared to just a open. If it was just an open side discharge, I'd be, man, there ain't no telling how many windows I'd have broke over the years. But that's pretty much it. Can't really think of too much else to say about it. It's a good mower. You know, it was about $9,500. You know, I'm not scared to take something like this. If you don't put any money down, will probably end up running you about $250 a month. If you put a little bit down, you can get it down around 200 or so. Just depends, but you know, 250. You mow 2 or 3 yards, you can get this thing paid off in one day. So it just depends, you know, how big your operation is. I think this is going to help my operation a ton because, you know, I have a lot of big yards. I live in an area where everybody has, you know, half acre to an acre lot. And so, you know, with this thing, I'm going to be able to still charge those people $60 to $100, and I'm not going to be out there all day mowing the yard. I can mow an acre property with this in under an hour. So, you know, and if I charge them $80, $100, you know, by the time I get done weed eating and everything, I can make $100 in about an hour and 15 minutes. You do 5 of those in a day, you got $500. So, yeah, just overall, it's a awesome mower. Yeah, let me know if you got any questions about it.